They say the dead don't speak. But what if the one person who loved you most still whispered from the other side? Let's see how it played out in this intriguing story. Once upon a time, in a small town called Ogoda, there lived a teenage girl named Destiny. She was 17 years old, quiet, kind, and strong-willed. Her mother, Mama Ada, had died 3 years earlier, when Destiny was just 14. Life after that was like walking with one leg, difficult, slow, and painful. Mama Ada was not a rich woman, but she was full of wisdom and love. She sold local skincare products and handmade hair creams. People came from nearby towns just to buy from her. Her tiny kiosk stood beside their small 2-room house. Even when Destiny's father left them for another woman, Mama Ada stood tall. She worked hard and still found time to help others. But in January of that year, Mama Ada fell ill. First, it was tiredness. Then pain in her chest. Then she couldn't stand. Destiny watched her mother fade like candlelight in the wind. On her last night, Mama Ada held Destiny's hand and said, "People will envy your light, but never hide it. And when trouble comes, I'll find you. I will not leave you empty." Those were her last words. After her death, Destiny was taken in by her mother's older cousin, Auntie Rose. At first, Auntie Rose pretended to care. But it didn't last. She soon turned Destiny into a maid. Destiny cleaned, cooked, fetched water, and sold snacks on the roadside for her. She was barely given enough food and never had time to study. But Destiny kept quiet. She remembered her mother's advice, "Do not return darkness with darkness." Still, it was hard. Especially when Auntie Rose's only daughter, Favor, who was the same age as Destiny, was treated like a queen. New clothes, enough food, private lesson teachers, while Destiny patched her school uniform with needle and thread. Despite all the hard work and poor treatment, she was always happy, hopeful and cheerful. One evening, Auntie Rose got a visitor, a man named Mr. Cozy, well-dressed, smooth-talking, and generous. He said he worked in real estate and liked helping young girls. He praised Destiny's beauty and brains. Then later that night, Destiny overheard something strange. Through the kitchen window, Auntie Rose whispered to Mr. Cozy, "The girl is ready. She's not my blood anyway. Do whatever you want. Just send the remaining money after. It is best to come back tomorrow evening." By then she would have packed all her things and I would have told my neighbors she is traveling to school in a big city. Destiny's body froze. Her legs felt weak. That night, she cried and begged her mother in prayer, "Please. I don't know what they want to do to me. But Mama, if you can still see me, help me. I'm scared." And that night, for the first time in 3 years, her mother came to her in a dream. She stood by the foot of Destiny's bed, wearing a white wrapper and matching scarf. Her face looked calm, but her voice was firm. "Destiny, wake up. Get out of that house before it's too late. Go to where the cassava mill used to be. I left something there for you before I died." Destiny sat up with tears in her eyes. Was it just a dream? But something inside her knew it was real. She waited until 3 a.m., when the whole house was asleep. Then she tied her wrapper, picked her slippers in her hand, and quietly left the house. The cassava mill had been abandoned for years. Weeds had grown over the place. But when Destiny got there, she found something. Destiny knelt beside the flat stone behind the old cassava mill. Her hands shook as she pushed away the weeds. The night air was cold, and the ground was damp. She looked around, no one was following her. Slowly, she lifted the stone. Beneath it was a small calabash wrapped in thick white cloth, the kind her mother used to wear for prayers. She pulled it out carefully. Inside the calabash was a folded note and a small brown leather purse. The note was old but the handwriting was fresh in her mind, her mother's. It said, "If you're reading this, then danger is near. There's a woman called Mama Njidika at the edge of the next village. She once owed me a favor. Show her this purse. She will hide you. She will protect you. Destiny pressed the purse against her chest. She didn't understand how her mother knew this would happen. But she trusted her. She stood up and began walking. Her slippers were soaked, and thorns scratched her legs, but she didn't stop. By morning, she reached the next village. Her legs were swollen. She asked an old man by the roadside, "Please sir, where can I find Mama Njidika?" The man pointed down a narrow path. "That old woman that lives near the stream." "Yes, go down that way. She does not talk much." Destiny walked as fast as her tired legs could carry her. When she got to the hut, she knocked once. The door opened slowly. A wrinkled woman with sharp eyes looked out. "What do you want?" she asked. Destiny held out the purse. "My name is Destiny. My mother was Mama Ada." Mama Njidika took one look at the purse, and her eyes softened. "So, she finally sent you," she whispered. She opened the door wide and let Destiny in. That day, Destiny told her everything, the dream, the voice, the plot she overheard. Mama Njidika nodded the whole time, saying nothing. Then, finally, she said, "Your mother didn't just give you life. She gave you a path." Mama Njidika gave Destiny food, a place to rest, and protection. But while Destiny was safe, back in Ogoda, trouble had started. Auntie Rose woke up and found Destiny gone. She shouted, searched, and even called Mr. Cozy on the phone to tell him what had happened. That's when fear entered her. You see, Mr. Cozy was not just a rich man. He was dangerous. He had paid Auntie Rose in advance for something evil. And now that Destiny had escaped, they were both in serious trouble. What would Mr. Cozy do next? And could Destiny hide forever? At Mama Njidika's hut, Destiny sat near the fire, her hands wrapped around a cup of warm pap. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Mama Njidika didn't say much. She just sat beside her, slowly peeling cassava as the fire popped and hissed. After a long silence, the old woman finally spoke. "Your mother, Mama Ada, came to me years ago. She said one day, someone might try to destroy you out of envy or greed. She asked me to promise that if that time ever came, I would protect you. I gave her my word. And now, here you are." Destiny's lips trembled. "Why would anyone want to harm me? I've never done anything to anybody." Mama Njidika looked at her. "Sometimes, it's not about what you did. It's about who you are. Your mother was strong. Even when your father left, she did not beg. She worked hard, built a business, raised you with pride. That strength, that peace, it made some people angry. Especially those who expected her to fall." Destiny lowered her head. Her mind wandered to the days Mama Ada would massage her aching feet after school. The way she always said, "Destiny, your name is your path. When trouble comes, walk through it. Don't run." Now her mother was gone, and yet, it felt like she had never left. Back in Ogoda, Auntie Rose was restless. Mr. Cozy had been calling non-stop. His voice was no longer smooth, it was cold and threatening. "You told me she had no one," he growled. "Do you know how much money I spent? If I don't get her, you and your daughter will answer for it." Auntie Rose's legs shook. She never expected it to turn this way. She had taken Destiny in only for appearances, not love. And now, greed had pushed her into something wicked. Meanwhile, Destiny sat in Mama Njidika's backyard, sewing a ripped wrapper with needle and thread. It was something Mama Ede taught her, to sew when anxious, to let her hands talk when her mouth could not. As her fingers worked, tears rolled down her cheeks. She whispered, "Mama, I miss you. I wish you were here. I don't know what to do next." Just then, a breeze passed through the compound. The mango tree rustled. And in the wind, Destiny thought she heard a faint whisper, "You are not alone, my daughter." The sun had barely touched the rooftops in Ogoda when Mr. Cozy arrived at Auntie Rose's compound. He didn't come in a flashy car this time. He came on a motorcycle, dressed in simple clothes. But his eyes, they were full of fire. Auntie Rose ran out as soon as she heard the knock. Her heart nearly jumped out of her chest. "Cozy, please." "I didn't know she would run." "I swear," she whispered in fear. But Mr. Cozy didn't care. He pushed past her and entered the house. "Where is she hiding?" he barked. "She's gone. I think she went to her mother's village," Auntie Rose stammered. Cozy turned slowly. "You told me she was desperate. You said she had no one. You collected 500,000 naira from me to set this up." Auntie Rose dropped to her knees. "Please, I will refund the money." Cozy laughed darkly. "You think it was just about money? Do you know how many girls I've swallowed in this city? Do you know what I turn into at night?" Auntie Rose stared at him. Something about his face was changing. His eyes blinked like snake eyes. His tongue flicked fast, too fast. Her mouth dropped open in horror. "You're not human," she whispered. He leaned in close. "You should have known that before you sold her." He turned and stormed out, but not before muttering, "I'll find her. You better pray I do." Back in Yumiko, Destiny was sitting under Mama Njidika's mango tree, stitching a small blouse for the old woman. She felt uneasy. Like something was wrong. Like something was coming. That night, she had another dream. She was walking through a dark path, calling for her mother. She turned left, and saw a giant python coiled around a pile of shoes, wigs, purses, and phones, all belonging to different young women. It opened its mouth and swallowed a girl who looked just like her. As it swallowed, the ground spat out bundles of naira notes. She screamed. Then, her mother appeared. Wearing white, calm but firm. She touched her shoulder. "You are next on his list," Mama Ada said. "But I won't let him have you. You must be ready. Evil walks on two legs, but God walks in the spirit. Listen. Trust. Move." Destiny woke up drenched in sweat. She sat up and rushed to Mama Njidika's room. "Mama, I think he's coming." Mama Njidika, already awake, nodded slowly. "Yes. I feel it too. And we must act now." 2 days had passed since Destiny began sleeping in Mama Njidika's room. The old woman didn't let her go anywhere alone. She knew that when evil fails in silence, it tries again, louder. They spent each day quietly, cooking, praying, and sewing small clothes for villagers who brought fabrics. Destiny stayed mostly indoors, too shaken to laugh. But she was healing, slowly. Then one morning, as Mama Njidika swept the compound, a young girl from the next village ran up the path. Her name was Edora, a distant niece. "Auntie," she shouted. "I think I did something wrong." Mama Njidika dropped her broom. "What happened, Edora?" The girl was breathing fast. "Someone came to our village yesterday. A fine man in a white car. He said he was looking for his sister, Destiny. He showed me a photo. He said she ran away from home and needed help. I didn't know. I told him you took someone in last week." Mama Njidika's heart dropped. "Where did he go?" "I don't know. He asked where your compound was and left." Inside, Destiny had everything. She sat frozen, the wooden spoon in her hand falling to the floor. "How did he know my full name?" she whispered. Mama Njidika looked up slowly. "Your auntie. Auntie Rose. She must have given him your details. Maybe even told him where your late mother's village is." Destiny held her chest. It felt like someone had placed stone inside it. Mom and Judika locked the front door and pulled the curtains. We don't panic. We prepare. If he comes, we will be ready. But we won't be afraid. That night, they prayed together. Mom and Judika poured oil at each window and door. Destiny clutched her mother's cloth and cried softly. As the lantern flickered low, she whispered, "Mama, I don't want to die." Then, in the deep quiet of night, she heard it again, her mother's voice. This time, not in a dream, but real. In her ears. "You won't die, Destiny. The fire is still with you. The trap they set will catch them instead." And for the first time in days, Destiny slept without fear. By morning, the whole compound felt uneasy. Mom and Judika didn't open her shop. She prayed silently as she boiled water for tea. Destiny sat on a stool by the window, her eyes scanning every shadow. The peace she felt the night before was still with her, but it came with alertness. Around 10 a.m., a knock came at the gate. 3 short taps. Mom and Judika held Destiny's hand. "Don't go near the window," she said quietly. She stepped out, tied her wrapper tighter, and opened the small peeping hole. A man stood outside. Tall. Well-dressed. "Come." "Good morning, Ma," he said with a warm smile. "I'm looking for my younger sister. She came here 2 days ago. She's not mentally okay. We're trying to bring her back home safely." Mom and Judika's voice didn't shake. "What's her name?" He smiled again. "Destiny." Silence. Mom and Judika nodded slowly, then said, "Wait here." She closed the peephole and rushed inside. Destiny had heard everything. "That's him. That's his voice. I've heard it before, when he used to call my auntie and when he visited once." "Don't worry," Mom and Judika said. "We will not fight this with hands. Let's call Pastor Chinedu." In under 30 minutes, Pastor Chinedu arrived with 2 church elders. They came quietly, parking down the road and walking in like visitors. The gate was opened wide. "Good morning," the pastor greeted the man calmly. "We hear you're looking for someone." "Yes," the man said. "My sister. She's not well." The pastor nodded slowly. "We understand. But can we pray together before you take her?" The man hesitated. "I'm not really into all that." The pastor smiled. "But if she's your sister, and she's not well, wouldn't you want her to be healed?" That moment was the turning point. As the pastor began to pray, the man's face started to twitch. Then his right hand began to shake. Suddenly, he shouted, "Stop it." Everyone stepped back. His body convulsed. His eyes rolled. He fell to his knees, screaming in a voice that wasn't human. "You can't stop me. I have taken others, many others. I have used them. I made wealth." Destiny came to the door. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "So it's true. You're not a helper. You're a taker." The man screamed louder. But the prayer continued. In just minutes, he passed out on the ground, face in the mud, breathing heavily. The elders tied him and called the police. That same afternoon, the truth came out: he had been luring girls online, using fake names, and carrying out money rituals. Authorities found hotel staff who confessed to strange disappearances. Auntie Rosie was also arrested as an accomplice. As the man was dragged away by the police, the weight that had sat on Destiny's heart for weeks began to lift. Mom and Judika held her close, and both of them broke into tears. Not just from relief, but from the kind of peace that only comes after walking through fire and coming out whole. Later that evening, they sat together in the small parlor with Pastor Chinedu and the church elders. A soft gospel hymn played from the small radio on the shelf. The lamp burned low, casting calm shadows on the wall. Destiny knelt down quietly. She didn't have many words. Just tears. Then she whispered, "Thank you, Jesus. I could have died. But you sent help. You sent Mom and Jidika. You gave me dreams. And you used my mother's love to protect me." The pastor smiled and laid a hand on her shoulder. God never sleeps. Even when evil plots in secret, he exposes them in the open. You were never alone, my daughter. Heaven fought for you. Mom and Jidika wiped her eyes too. Your mother may be gone, but her prayers still echo. God heard them. And he crowned your life with mercy. That night, Destiny slept deeper than she had in months. She dreamed of her mother again, not worried, not warning. Just smiling. Behind her, bright light flowed like morning sun through clouds. And for the first time in years, Destiny felt truly safe. Not because the evil was gone, but because she now knew who was with her through it all, God. Moral of the story: be careful who you trust, not all that glitters is gold. Quick gifts can hide dangerous traps. But when your life is in God's hands, no plan of the enemy can succeed. A praying mother's love, and the power of God, can still save. Even after death. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and follow this page for more inspiring African folktales rooted in truth, faith, and real-life lessons. Your story might save someone else. Share this with a friend today. See you next time.